Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Altars of Metal. Tonight we descend into the depths of German extreme metal history with a very special guest. Our guest is a man who helped forge the sound of one of underground's most respected and vicious names, a band that left its marks somewhere between thrash, death metal and pure darkness. For decades, his voice and presence have been part of the legacy of Protector, a band that stood for aggression, conviction, and true underground spirit. It is a great pleasure and honor to welcome to the show the one and only Martin Missy of Protector. Martin, welcome to Altars of Metal. It's a real pleasure to have you with us tonight.
Hi. Thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure. It's good to see you. So I'm just gonna try a little bit on a trip to memory lane, take things a little bit back from the beginning, and you will correct me if I do any mistakes, because I'm not an encyclopedia, but I try to get my sources right. So,
yes.
Protector was formed in 1986 in Wolfsburg, in Germany, originally by Michael Hasse, Hansi Müller, and Michael Schnabel, if I'm not mistaken. And you joined,
correct,
you joined in March 1987 as a vocalist, and from there the band became one of the most cult and savage names of the German extreme metal underground. After the classic era, long silence and later rebirth, Protector returned officially in 2011 and remains active to this day. So, is that correct?
Yes. Everything's correct.
All right,
absolutely.
So we have two seasons, season 1 and season 2 after 2011. Now, I want you to tell me how did it all start? How did you get to join the band back then? How did the guys approach you and how did it all start?
Well, it all started with Michael and Hansi, of course. In the summer of '86, they formed the band Protector and recorded a demo in November, I think it was, together with Michael Schnabel on bass. And in the beginning, around of '87, then Ede Belichmeier replaced Michael Schnabel on bass. And then Michael, who was drumming and singing at the time, decided that he wanted to focus on just the drums. And so he looked for a singer, and fortunately for me, he came to me and asked me if I wanted to join the band. And I had heard the demo. I thought it was amazing that a band that aggressive and brutal comes from my little hometown, Wolfsburg. So I said yes right away. And then I joined Protector in March '87.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and from there on, it rolled on. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And the first demo was Protector of Death. And then there was Cain and Abel, which was practically a rehearsal demo. And then you had live in Braunschweig. Braunschweig, is it that? I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, although I'm half German. And,
Braunschweig,
yeah. And then you guys released the EP Misanthropy in 1987, yes? All right.
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
Then, of
we
course...
recorded it, yeah.
Go ahead.
In the same studio where we recorded the demo in Braunschweig also. And there was I almost... saw myself out of the band at one point, because when we were rehearsing in the rehearsal room, I just had a box that it wasn't quite good. So when we recorded the rehearsals, it sounded really mean and brutal, because we usually only taped everything with a cassette recorder and stuff like that. But when we were in the studio, my voice suddenly, in this clear atmosphere, my voice suddenly didn't sound so bad as I had wished for. And I remember I saw Michael's face through this glass window, the shock in his face when I started to sing. But then the producer was cool. He said, okay, I just play the song on repeat, and you just shout and scream and sing to it as much as you can. And after that half hour, the voice was fortunately ready for the recording. Then, yeah. But for a second, I was like, "Oh Jesus, this is the end for me in the band. Michael will come in and he will sing, and then that's over." But fortunately, it worked out everything. Yeah, and then we had an EP out, and that was amazing. It was incredible. Yeah, you couldn't believe it. First, when you had it in your hands, you could believe it. Yeah.
You remind me, we had an interview with Death Courier from a death metal band from here, from Greece, and Billy was saying that back then we were recording with burning wood for the fireplace. That was the equipment. Yeah. While today we have all of this technology and everything, and you have so many different, everything is different. So if you compare back then to today, how it all started, you were kids and you were playing with whatever you had as equipment, and today you have all this, we all have all of this technology, not only to record on the studio, but also to promote our job. So if you compare back then to today, what would you say? What would be the comparison for you?
Of course, as you said, the technological stuff. I mean, the guitars, I don't know. I'm not a guitarist, but probably haven't changed that much, and drums and stuff like that, and microphones. But all this surrounding just the recording equipment that you can go into a studio now, where everything goes right into the computer, and where you can fix the sound that way and everything. I think it makes the job of a producer especially much easier, of course. Of course, it's a little bit, how do you say, nostalgic when you look back and you remember these big, what do you call it? This big board where the producer sat and switched on all the knobs, and you had this this big
console,
tape rolling. Everything was recorded on tapes and stuff like that. Yes, but I think it's awesome that you have these possibilities, that you give musicians also the possibility to record stuff at home when they want to record something. We do that now when my band colleagues want to show me a new riff. They can record it at home and just send it to me by email or by through the internet. And that is great, that because my band colleagues live 400 kilometers away from me, and we don't rehearse so often together, and that is the only way for me to get all these new information about the songs and the riffs and stuff like that. So yeah, it's great. I think it's awesome, this technological improvement in recording and everything. Yeah.
And maybe you can hum and sing a riff idea on the phone and send it to them, like I've read in an interview.
Yes, that's what I do. I have written some, I would say, altogether now for the new Protector 2.0. I've written like 7 or 8 songs, and that is the way, because I can't play a guitar, I can't play an instrument, unfortunately. I have to use my phone, and when I get an idea for a riff, I hum it or sing it into the phone and send it to our guitarist and our bass player, and they try to manage it, which accord this could be then, and put it into riffs then, yeah.
Have you ever listened back to one of those demos and thought, how, or whatever ideas you hummed on the phone and thought perhaps, how the hell are they supposed to turn that into a riff?
I think I thought that every time I did that, I sent my recordings to them, but every time they amazed me and made it really great. And if they had some improvement for the riff as well, because because I don't know how to play the guitar and how certain tones can be played. I mean, when one tone is like up there on the guitar and the next I choose is like it's way too far away, so they have to change some of these tones or something like that. But it always turns out great when they make it. So I'm really happy about that.
Okay. We've got our friend Vargian. He's from my town here, from Kreta, from Heraklion. And he says, do you think Protector is respected nowadays for what you are since the reunion, or mostly for what the scene believes you represented back then? Does that and does that even bother you, Martin?
Well, I hope at least that it's for both the things. In the beginning, especially, of course, before we had recorded these 2 years, recorded our first album, Reanimated Homunculus, there were 2 or 3 years where we just had 1 or 2, 3, 4 songs out. And of course, the people only knew the old stuff, the name. And but I think we slowly but surely have managed to make our own name with this new band. So I think hopefully it's like both, that they appreciate, of course, the beginning, and also the new Protector, if you will call it like that.
And Protector is hitting 40 years. And the anniversary show in Wolfsburg is not just another gig. It's a 100-minute set with songs from every era and special guests. When you prepare a night like that, do you think like a musician or almost like a curator of Protector's whole history? How do you feel?
Of course, I want to make it a really special evening. And that's why I have reached out to old band colleagues, which will be joining us on stage for several songs. That will be a really, really special night to put this together on the stage and play all songs from all the eras. And wow, so I'm really, really looking forward to this evening, the 2nd of May in Wolfsburg. Yeah,
it's going to be 2nd of May. And can you tell us who the special guests are going to be?
Yes, of course. I've tried to not talk too much about it, but I mean, sooner or later, people will eventually find out. So of course, I have asked Hansi, the original guitarist. He will be joining us on stage, and of course also Olli Wiebel, who took over the vocals from me and who later also played the guitar and was playing on Shedding of Skin. He will be there. So these two are probably the most known names, but there are some more former band members who also will be appearing, and that is maybe something I still keep a little bit as a secret, because it's maybe a little bit of a surprise when it's happening.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I wish you really all the best. I'm sure it's gonna be like an amazing celebration, man. That's great. All right.
Yes, I hope so too.
In a recent interview at that liverock.pl website, you described the early Protector years as excitement and the current era more like gratitude. When did that shift happen inside you? Why do you compare these two eras like this?
Well, of course, it's also excitement today, but back then it was just this amazing feeling playing in a band, playing the music that I liked, I loved, and still love, playing it in the studio, playing it live, and with these amazing guys. That was every day was like a dream come true, really, to be in a band like that. And that is of course, also true for today. But now it's gratitude, of course, a lot. I'm thankful for every day, every year that we can continue this together, because we now have played 20 years together with this same lineup. Yeah, so, but it's gratitude comes to all these old feelings. Yeah.
Okay. Varian, by the way, used the disclaimer as well regarding his question before. He says, personally, I enjoy both eras, but many people in the thrash and death scene don't really respect reunions like that. But I would add, you will always get all sorts of, reactions. So as long as you stay true to what you like, yeah. Okay.
Yes, we try to make it as true to the original Protector as of course as it was, and yeah, I can imagine that if and I accept it, of course, if people don't think oh, this is not true because it's just one old band member left, and I mean I also think it's with other bands like, let's say, Venom, for example. Of course, it would be awesome if the three guys from the first albums, if they could play together again and stuff like that. But well, it is like it is, and hopefully for Protector at least, that we still can give the people joy in the music that we are making, and the old songs that we are playing when we're playing live.
Okay. And I have the user Zeroed. He says, I really hope Protector is aware of how fresh, energetic, and well written and played their newer material has been, even weighed against the old. No signs of being tired or phoning it in.
Oh, thank you very much. I can only say that is a big part of this is my three band colleagues from Uddevalla, because they really know how to embody the spirit of the music, and they have this feeling for how to write songs that stay in these in the same vein as the old Protector did. At least that's what I think, and what I've heard from other people, and that I'm really grateful, thankful for, that I have these three guys that make this all possible. And yeah, I'm really happy when people see it that way.
And I agree with our friend over here. The latest material is really good. It's really good. So yeah, thumbs up to that.
Thank you.
Okay. And when you look back at 1986, 1987 Protector and compare it to Protector in 2026, what stayed absolutely untouched in the band's DNA for you? Or to broaden the question, if you wanna just make a comparison in general.
Well, of course, it's I would say the music, the style, the way we played back then and we play now today. I think it's fortunately not a big change to what we did back then, and that is always what we want to do in the future as well. Because when you do such a reanimation of a band, you have a great responsibility, I think, a great responsibility to protect the heritage of the band. And that is what we always will do. It would be meaningless to do a kind of this thing and start playing totally different metal, or I don't know, deathcore, or don't ask me, or even start writing, or now we do a whole ballad album or something like that. So we will always try to stay as true as possible to the original material.
It's always also difficult to keep the balance, like maintain your identity, and at the same time to try to develop yourselves, but by following the original lines. So I guess it's quite a challenge, isn't it?
Yes, of course it's not, how do you say, one-to-one exactly the same. Of course, every musician brings his own style a little bit into the band. And so it is also with my new band members, of course. But I think the main and the core of the band, of the band's music, is still pretty much the same, I would say. At least from not maybe as much as on Shedding of Skin, when it became really death metal. But more to the early times when it was thrash death, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Okay. And I asked you before how it all started. How did you meet the members back then? And you went through the story. I want to ask you also, how did it happen with the new members? And how did you get to meet Matthias, Carl Gustav, and Michael? And how did you get to how was the story behind this when you did Martin Missy and the Protectors before going? And I'm going to ask that as well. But when you met the guys, how did it all start? How did it all happen?
That is also a really interesting story, I think. I was here in Stockholm at a Niflheim gig at a club. There was a club here where they played. And after the show, I was invited to come to an after-show party at the guitarist's, one of the guitarists' home. There were like 20, 30 people crammed into that apartment. It was a really nice, cool evening. And there I met, I think he was doing the merch for Niflheim back then, Jonas Svensson, a friend of Pelle and Erik from Niflheim. And we talked like for hours. We sat there. People were like falling asleep around us and going home and stuff like that. In the end, it was just him and me still sitting up and talking about metal in general, his favorite band, Iron Maiden, and then also Protector. And then he asked me, wouldn't it be possible to do a reunion? Of course, as far as a reunion could be without Michael Hasse, who sadly passed away in '94, but with Hansi and Ede maybe or something. But I knew from earlier that Hansi had said that it wouldn't be the same for him to do it without Michael, because they had formed the band together, and it wouldn't be the same. So I said a reunion would be probably not be able to happening. And then he came up with the idea of a cover band. And he said, let's do a cover band of Protector, and I get you some guys here from Uddevalla, where I live, and I think I know some people already, he said. And I said, well, do that. And the months passed, and I thought, I had almost forgotten about it, and then suddenly he called me and said, "Now I have found 3 guys. They are already rehearsing, and come over and check them out and see what you think."
Fantastic.
And then in the beginning of 2006, I went over to Uddevalla for the first time and met the guys and rehearsed with them, and it was awesome from the beginning. Not only that they embody the spirit of the band so well, but also that they are fantastic guys. And that is important. That I think you can also see otherwise you wouldn't be playing together for 20 years that we have done now. So it's always great to see them, great to go with them on tour, and yeah, I'm really, really happy and thankful to Jonas for all this work that he put in it to find these guys. Absolutely.
Amazing, yeah, and I think that chemistry is the number one ingredient that a band needs. Chemistry is more important than technicality, than technical abilities. Of course, technical abilities are also important, but chemistry comes first. You gotta be friends. You gotta be like a family. It is like a family project,
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see it that way too.
Okay. The user, I don't know if I read this correctly, Gabor Zaitz, maybe, says, "Hi Martin, do you plan an anniversary European tour this year or later?"
Well, a tour isn't planned yet because we are focusing mainly first now on this anniversary gig in Wolfsburg. And then we have 2 more shows in Germany and the Czech Republic. And then we have said no to gigs because we want now to focus again on writing new material, because it has been quite a while now since we released our latest album. So now after that, this summer, autumn, winter, and next spring, we will focus on rehearsing new material and hopefully also record it. So we will see what happens in 2027, maybe. We will see if we do something like that, like an anniversary tour or something. Yeah.
Okay. In the last interview that I read last year, you said that there are back then there were roughly 4 songs ready for the next album. Where are we standing at the moment, and what information can you give us about the next album of Protector?
The 4 or 5 songs are more or less complete, and our bass player and guitarist have a lot, as they told me, a lot of riffs which are not put together yet, but probably will be enough for like 10 or 11 songs. So I don't think we have to find or to write new any new riffs. We have them. We just have to put them together, make songs. I have to write the lyrics. Maybe Mate will, our bass player, has also written lyrics, and and so I think the ground is there. We just have to put it together now.
Do we have something like that anybody asking you on an interview is trying to get something like a big headline or something? Do we have a title? Do we have something like that for the new album?
The title is always something that I really, really try to think through a lot. I have some ideas, maybe 5, 6 ideas, but nothing that I have decided 100% on. We will also see how the whole thing works out when we write songs. If we find one song particularly great, that we maybe call it the album after that. So we have not decided exactly on a name yet. No.
And if you were to compare it with your latest work, Excessive Outburst of Depravity, how would you call it different? Would it be different? Would it be in the same philosophy, or how can you compare it?
I would say hopefully it will be in the same vein, because as the latest album, because that was the album that all of us were most what do you say,
proud
that we
of?
enjoyed the most.
Yeah.
We had worked our way with Reanimated, Cursed, and Coronated, and Summon the Horse. worked our way to that album, to Excessive Outburst of Depravity. And that's the sound, the songs, we really think that it should be in that vein again. And we also really would like to record at the same studio again, and with the same guy who do the mixing and the mastering, Patrick Eng. So yeah, so hopefully it will be about the same as Excessive Outburst of Depravity, hopefully.
Okay. And when we saw the rebirth of Protector, you deliberately did not use the name Protector right away, even though you could have. Was that a matter of respect, personal ethics, or needing to feel that the lineup had earned that name first?
Because we said it would be a cover band, we thought we should have a cover band name, so it was became Martin Missy and the Protectors between 2006 and 2011. Because I said, no, we can't call the band Protector. We are a cover band now, there in the beginning. But then after 5 years playing together, shows all over Europe, we decided that maybe the time was right that we could do this for real, do the real Protector thing. And then I visited Wolfsburg at one time. I talked to Hansi because his opinion was and still is very important to me because he founded the band together with Michael. So I asked him what he would think about if he would do this as a real Protector with this name again. And he said right away, he supported us right away and said he thought it was a great idea. And that was awesome, because if he would have said no, I wouldn't have done it. But because I accept his opinion so much. And yeah, fortunately he said yes. And then we could start recording and then presenting us as the new Protector again. Yeah, that was awesome.
I guess Hansi Müller's blessing for you was important emotionally, and it was simply a practical green light, and I guess it felt like the old Protector chapter and the new one were finally joined, yes?
Yes, of course, yes. And every time when we play in Wolfsburg, many of the old band members show up, and it's always like a kind of family reunion, and especially on the 2nd of May, it will be even more like that. So yeah, it's always awesome to come back.
And regarding Protector's lyrics, you have always moved between history, real life, science fiction, politics, and the occasional twisted sense of humor as well. So what kind of subject instantly tells you that, yes, this belongs in a Protector song?
Oh, that is difficult to say. It's always like when you read a book which excites you a lot, with you things is great, or see a movie, or read something in the paper, or even by conversation with people or something, it can come up an idea. It can be totally different where it comes from, and I think it's quite a wide spectrum you can write for, I think, for Protector. As you said, I'm a big fan of science fiction, so science fiction is in it. History is very interesting, I think. So that is also something I put in. But we also have written songs about like hippopotamus, or what do you call it? Flusspferd. So something like that can also come up. But mostly it's like history, science fiction, and stories from real life also, yeah.
Okay. And you've said that Excessive Outburst of Depravity may actually be Protector's best album, and also that it may be hard to reach that standard again. What made that record hit such a high level? The songs, the lineup chemistry, the recording process, or simply the time the band had during that period?
First of all, I want to say I think it's the best album we have done since the rebirth of the band, because I mean, to top albums like Golem or Shedding of Skin is really really difficult. But for us, for let's say Protector 2.0, the last album, the Excessive Outburst of Depravity album, is I think the best. The riffs, everything came together perfectly. The riffs, the sound, yeah. So that is the album we appreciate the most, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Martin, would you like?
Yeah, and even Hansi said that he liked that album best from all the new albums.
All right. Okay.
And that meant a lot. Yeah.
Fantastic. Martin, would you like to tell me to make a comparison, in your own style of extreme music between the European scene and the American scene? And what names would come up first to your mind as, bands that you really like from these two scenes?
You must say, when it comes to Protector, in the beginning, of course, mainly, but still, also Slayer, Possessed, also a little bit Celtic Frost. For me personally, when it came to the vocals, I was quite influenced by Jeff Becerra, his fantastic vocals, and also Michael on the first demo made a big impression on me, and that's what I tried a little bit to sound like. And for the music as well, like Slayer, Possessed, that was the a lot of that we listened to back then, and maybe also some of the German thrash bands back then, Sodom especially, are also influence. So we were like in between, taking influences from both the American and the European thrash and extreme metal scene back then, and that is also the same for today. I think that we still try to look at these bands when it comes for inspiration, and of course the old Protector as well. Yeah.
Okay. And if we're talking about the European scene, the thrash and death metal European scene, what are the first names that come up to your mind as bands are concerned that you really respect their work?
Of course, Sodom is, as I mentioned. I also like a lot early Creator and Destruction. Also a great band. Those were the bands that let's say in the extreme. But when it's only extreme that you mean, because of course I like bands like Scorpions and Accept as well, or British bands, a lot of British bands like Saxon, Iron Maiden, and Judas Priest. But they are not so important when it comes to the work with Protector, let's say. But personally for you, and of course Motorhead. Motorhead is one of my absolute favorite bands ever. Yeah, that's and when it comes to also extreme metal from the United States, of course, Death, Morbid Angel, those were also amazing bands that formed me also personally a lot, I would say.
Okay, all right. Let me see what I was left with a question. Sorry. Yeah. At first, you were a bit worried fans might mainly want the old material, but lately we've seen newer songs being celebrated live too. Did that change the band's confidence in where Protector can still go artistically?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm so happy when we play live that the old songs as well as the new songs are getting cheered. It would be really, yeah, heartbreaking, or what do you say, if we like play some old songs and then we play a new song, and after the song there would be total silence and stuff like that. But then we would have seen or realized that we are not on the right path. But fortunately, the fans seem to enjoy, at least those who come to the concerts. I of course I can respect everybody who, as you said, who don't think it's a real Protector because just me is in the band, and I accept that. But I'm happy for everybody that we can make happy with our new albums, and of course we will always play a lot of the old songs live, because we know that a lot of people wants to hear that, because that's the core and the beginning of the band. And so yeah,
I can say I have this in front of me right now that I bought a very long time ago. I think I bought it in the UK when I was a student back then, and comparing back then to today, you know, for whatever it counts for you, man, you're doing an amazing job. So, you know, so keep it up.
Thank you.
All right. So you've mentioned in the past that Hell Butcher, the ex-singer of Niflheim, and Tom Angel Ripper would be dream collaborators for Protector. Now, let's say one of them says yes tomorrow. What kind of Protector song would you want to do with them?
Oh, of course we would have to see which songs we have written. I don't think we would especially write a song just for them, but of course, when it comes to Hellbutcher, we would try to find one of our faster songs that he could sing on, and Tom maybe one of the ones that are more inspired of a little bit more thrash feeling and stuff like that. And of course that would be a dream come true, but I guess both of them now are very busy guys, but if that could work out, that would be a dream. Yeah.
Okay. And I always like to ask a little bit of existential and philosophical questions in my interviews. So would you believe that humanity is all alone in the void of the universe? Do you think that we are not alone? Or, and also, do you think that when death comes, it's the end? Or could there be something else?
Wow. That is heavy stuff. Let's start with the science fiction, or
yes,
you can call it like that. I cannot imagine that in a universe as big as ours, that there wouldn't be another planet or even planets where life evolved as on our planet. Maybe they are just in the early stages, like we were 1 million years ago or something like that. It's a little bit more difficult to see if that there is really, how do you say, sophisticated and more really more advanced species out there, because they would probably have discovered us already, or try to make contact in what way ever. So that is a little bit harder to see, but maybe some civilization that is at the same level that we are now, that cannot, at the moment at least, reach further than our own solar system without
on the Kardashev scale.
Yeah. So tomorrow, actually, I'm going to see Project Hail Mary. I've been looking forward to that now a lot since I read the book. So I love all this science fiction stuff, and but as you said, I think there is something or someone out there, who or how they look like or something like that. I don't know. And the other question, well, death. Let's say it is. I can only say, I hope more. I don't know, but I hope that there is something that comes after, in which what it's if we become like one with the universe, or if there is like a real life after, a next life, or what is it the Hindus believe in, rebirth in some way. I don't know. That is probably the thing. Yeah, we will see when it happens, but hopefully not too soon. But very, very difficult to say. But I hope at least that there is something, and especially, I mean, that would be awesome if you could reunite with people who have gone before you, like family members or very good friends. That would be great, but I don't know. We will see.
We think alike. We think very much alike.
Yeah.
So and reuniting with people. My next question was going to be, if you were given a time machine, when would you travel, and where, to meet whom, and what would you say to this person? Whom would you like to meet?
When it comes to music, I would set my time machine to 1978, and I would try to go and see an AC/DC concert with Bon Scott.
Oh, man.
That is one of my absolute favorites when it comes to singers. He had such an amazing voice, and seemed, I didn't know him personally, of course, seemed to be a real fun character also as well, a fun person. I don't know what I would say to him. Probably I couldn't even speak when I would meet him. I mean, he's all rock stars are just normal persons like you and me. But for me, of course, who have listened to AC/DC since 1980, that's I think it would be difficult for me to find words to say something to him also. When it comes to like other historical persons, I mean, that would be a long list for people that would be interesting to meet, to talk to, how they were in real life, not just the people you know from books or movies or papers or something like that. So very difficult to say. That there are a lot historical persons that I would like to meet. I would travel a lot if I would have a time machine. I can tell you that.
So would I. And I would like to visit civilizations of the past. I would really have the. It's a big question for me if I could visit ancient Egypt and see how the hell those pyramids were actually built.
Oh. Absolutely, stuff like that. Going to Egypt, going to Stonehenge, see how they built that. How the hell did they manage to build this? Like I don't know how many thousand years ago, and just also just to interact with people who lived back then. Is it really like they are portrayed today when they are doing historical movies or with historical themes? They of course the actors probably try to play like they think people were back then, but of course they also have this their own modern approach to it as well, somewhere in the back of the head at least. So it would be really interesting to just also communicate with normal people, how they lived, what their thoughts were, and everything around that. Yes.
Okay. And going back to Protector again, Protector has always stood in that savage zone between thrash, death, and blackened extremity. Back in the late 80s, did you feel you were chasing a new sound, or simply trying to be the most brutal version of yourselves?
Yes. The latter that you said, our goal was always to try to be extreme and to write extreme music. In the beginning, the goal was, like for many of the extreme bands back then, maybe to be the most brutal, the most fastest band in the world and stuff like that. And because that is impossible, because there's always someone who's faster, there's always someone who's more brutal or something like that. We just focused on, as you said, being ourselves, playing the hardest music that we could, and that's also the same way we do it today. So yeah.
Okay. And asking you before about the European scene, there's a couple of names of bands I wanted to ask you what you think of them. And what was the fourth one? I was just creating the question. Okay, I'm gonna go with Pestilence. I don't know. I'll ask you a couple of names. You know, it's okay if you haven't been listening or something like that. But have you been listening to Pestilence's work? And what do you think?
Unfortunately, not. I don't know why. Often, at least for me, it was like where I got inspired a lot by friends who listened to something. I got, he had this record and that record. And then when back then in the people I knew, there weren't so many people listening to Pestilence. So I didn't get any, inspiration from them. Then, of course, when you read the music papers back then, the metal magazines, the name Pestilence also showed up, but I don't know why. It just didn't, never happened that I listened to them.
I asked you about them because I was thinking of one of my favorite vocalists, Martin van Drunen, who was in the beginning in Pestilence, and he also sings with Asphyx. I don't know if you have been following them.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I think we've played with them at some festivals or something, but and the drummer, I think, still is Stefan. Is Stefan still? Stefan Huskens is, I think, still playing drums in Asphyx, as far as I know. And he's a good. He's a friend of the band, also from back in the Disaster days and stuff like that. So yeah.
And Bolt Thrower from the UK.
Oh, that is a killer band. Absolutely brutal, grinding, extreme. Yeah, that is. They are really great.
All right, and Entombed.
Yeah, I don't know. In Wolfsburg, there weren't. At least the people I knew weren't listening so much to the Scandinavian scene. It was mainly German or European or Central European or American bands that we listened to a lot, or even South American bands like Sepultura. So I think I discovered them. That was not well, of course, I've heard Left Hand Path when it came, and I also bought it. But I don't know if I really got into the Swedish scene. Unlike my band colleagues, especially Matte, the bass player, he, I think, has a big knowledge and a lot of records of Swedish death metal bands, yeah.
Okay. Now, a best memory with Protector. Or even funny memory. Even better.
I would say the first that comes to mind is that evening when Michael, I was standing outside of club talking to some friends when he came up to me and all of a sudden asked me if I wanted to join the band. That was a moment that I never will forget. But when it comes to during Protector,
Michael Hasse
there
or
were so
Schnabel?
many. Michael Hasse came up and asked. But there are so many. I mean, every time we played live, all the times in the studio, the parties we had in Michael Hasse's basement where he lived at his parents' house. There were so many. I'm right now. I'm just not can't recollect something, but there are really a lot of them, both from the old days and the new days. Yeah.
Okay, and Martin, would you like to tell us how did you start listening to metal and at what age?
It was after our summer holiday. We spent every summer holiday in Sweden, where my mother comes from. And when we came back one year, 1980, I was 11. I'm born in November, so I wasn't quite 12 years old yet. And then we were staying, just visiting friends of my father on our way back to Wolfsburg. And the son in the family had AC/DC's Highway to Hell. And he said, come, you must listen to this record. And we went into his room and he put on the record and I was like, wow. I mean, the voice, the riffs, the sound of that album. And after that, I listened to only, I was so like narrow-minded. I was listening to only AC/DC for like 2 or 3 years, bought all their albums and stuff like that. So yeah, it started in late summer 1980 with AC/DC. Yeah.
Yeah, how old were you?
11.
11. Nice, man. And
before that, I don't know. No.
Yeah, and can you remember like the first metal gig you went to that blew your mind?
The first gig was actually when we were on a summer holiday in, can it have been 84? And all of a sudden, we read in the newspaper that Motorhead was coming to a town close to where we had our summer house. So I had to go, of course, because at that time I had started to listen to Motorhead and Venom. That were the two bands that came directly after AC/DC. And so I went there and it was awesome. It was great. A little bit sad. It was like in an ice hockey, what do you say? The hall was usually used for ice hockey, but then in the summer they used it for concerts. And there were like a couple of hundred people there only. That was a little bit sad, but it was awesome to see the band live. And it was great. Afterwards, I waited outside the entrance where the musicians came out. And when Lemmy came out, like there were some 20 other people there as well. And he signed autographs for everybody. It was awesome. So just for a couple of minutes, I also was close to this legend, so to say. So that was a great evening. And then back in Wolfsburg, we visited. We didn't have so many gigs, metal gigs in Wolfsburg. We often had to travel to Hamburg or Hanover or the Ruhr area to check out gigs. But in Wolfsburg, there were a local band called Steel Tower, which later became Heaven's Gate, and the Steel Tower gigs were really pure heavy metal, like Maiden, Judas Priest, stuff like that, with fire and stuff. And when I saw that, I remember that there was this wish growing inside of me that I would like to do this as well. That's when I saw this performance, especially of the singer Thomas Redke. I wanted to be on that stage as well in one day.
And Heaven's Gate came over here to Greece last year on a once reunion show that Rock Hard Greece brought them. And yeah, they had a reunion over here last year for a one show.
Yeah, I heard about that. But as far as I know, the old vocalist Thomas isn't involved in it, so I think that's a little bit sad. But well,
yeah. So, and when you met Lemmy, did you get the chance to speak with him?
Because there were so many. I mean, he was like standing at the wall, signing the autographs. 2 or 3 crew members sealed him off a little bit, but as I said, there were like 20 people. Everybody was reaching in their ticket from the gig for him to sign. I just had one brief moment when he signed my the autograph on my ticket. He didn't know where it came from, so he turned to the other way and wanted to give it to somebody else, and I just said, no, over here, over here. That was the 1 second. I didn't have time, unfortunately, to talk to them. And they, as soon as they had written the autographs, they went into their little, I think it was like a Ford Transit bus that would take them to the next gig. But it was awesome to just have these minutes with this man.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Was great, and that it took this time, not just walking off to the. I'm tired. I want to go to the bus now. He signed for everybody. It was great, awesome,
amazing.
Yeah.
My viewers are probably sick of hearing the same story again, but I'm gonna say it for the sake of the conversation. I met Lemmy, the whole band in 2002 in Athens, and I knew where they were gonna hang out after the show for a drink. And I approached Lemmy and I said, Lemmy, he says, yes. I said, probably everybody's busting, is being a pain in the arse to you today. Can I also be a pain in the arse and we shoot a picture together? And he goes like, he was sitting at the bar, he had the Jack Daniels, he takes a glass, he puts some ice in it, he puts the Jack, he gives it to me and he says, son, sit down and have a Jack. I was like, holy shit. Yeah. And I just sat down and, I thought, okay, let's not go like a typical fan and ask him, hey, this and that. I was like, so what's up? Any chicks? So I started laughing, and we started talking like silly things. And it was really nice because it's like you met, like a pensioner in the UK at a bar or something, and you could talk about anything, and we're just talking about anything. It was really nice, very approachable. Mickey D was also there. I spoke to him and I said, hi, Mickey. And then he says to me in Greek, Έλα ρε μεγάλε, τι κάνεις? I was like, what the hell? You speak Greek? Yeah, I didn't know at the time he was Greek, And he says, my name is Michalis Delaoglou. I'm born, in Sweden by, Greek parents from Kavala. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's true.
All really nice, down to earth, really not the rock star attitude. And it's an irony. Yeah. These people that have the whole planet on their feet and they're like down to earth, really approachable, really nice to talk with, So I found that was magical.
Best.
Yeah, that was magical, man. Yeah, and from the underground, another name that I wanted to ask you if you know the band. Do you know from Belgium, from Flanders, Ancient Rites of Gunther Thies? Ancient Rites. No? Doesn't it?
Oh.
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
Unfortunately not. No.
Okay. All right.
Is it also an older band from the back from the 80s?
Yes. They are from the 80s. Underground band. Yeah. Really good band. Yeah, and a great friend of mine also, Gunther. Quite known here in Greece. Okay. And Martin, I wanted to ask you: are you guys ever gonna make any video clips?
Yeah, I've also thought about that because, as far as I know, we have never done any video clip for any of our songs, and I've also tried a little bit. to find who could record that in a professional way or a good way with the real equipment. Maybe today you don't need these big cameras anymore. Maybe you can just do it with some smaller. The technology is probably there to do that as well, but unfortunately, we have never come so far to really do that kind of thing. But who knows in the future if it will work out? Yeah.
Okay. And are you familiar at all with any bands from the Greek metal scene?
The only thing that comes to mind is Rotting Christ.
The most representative known name. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when I moved to Sweden in '95. First, I didn't play in any bands, and then I started playing in a band. And the guitarist, he has also Greek parents.
Okay.
Christos is his name, and he talked about Rotting Christ a lot. So that's when I got to hear some of the songs and stuff like that from them. So that is probably as far now that I can recall right now. The only thing I can right now remember from the Greek music scene.
Okay. And have you ever been to Greece yourself?
Unfortunately not, because I don't fly. It is a little bit difficult, would be a little bit difficult for me to come.
Yes, I've read that. Yeah. Yeah.
I could take a car, but it would take a couple of days.
Yeah, it's because of claustrophobia, if I remember correctly.
Or at least in planes, like I get this feeling I'm trapped. I cannot like when you are in a car, you can always stop, pull over, get out of the car, and because you know that. It's no problem. Also, trains stop some from time to time. You can jump off if you want.
Well, planes also stop from time to time, and you can jump off if you want as well.
Yeah, but there are these hours. Depends on where you are going. That you have to stay in there, and that's something. I don't know. It sits in the back of the head that is really difficult.
And the fact that statistically it is the safest means of transportation doesn't help you very much, right?
No, I don't think so much about that something could happen. It's more this really this being trapped in this inside of this plane and not just no, I'm not feeling for this right now. I just want to get out, open the door, and what happens then when you do that on a plane? So it's a real psychological stuff thing. I don't know.
I know, man. I know. If you have a phobia for something, it's very, very difficult to fight it. Have you ever thought like to try to fight it by taking, let's say, a very short flight somewhere in Sweden or something, and that lasts like half an hour?
I did that.
You did it.
I went. The Swedish SAS. They had like a course. What do you say? A course, a seminar for people with who have difficulty flying, and then they talked about flying, and you could sit like in a model of not really in a plane, but on the ground, and you sit in a model with all the sounds around you. And it was interesting. And the course ended with a flight to Gothenburg. It takes 1 hour approximately, and back. And I don't know exactly. It was like I think at that moment it worked out. I had some panic growing or going on, but it worked out. I focused. I remember I tried to focus. There was one other person who really was she was sitting there. She was like pale, and I tried to focus on helping, talking to her to get her through this, and that maybe helped me as well to get through and not just open the door and jump out of the plane or something like that. So. And then we also tried, my wife and I, we went to Germany with a plane. But even before we got on the plane, I got such panic attacks. It was horrible. But in the end, my wife managed to get me on board of that plane. Let's say it wasn't the most fun trip I made. But
you did it.
I did it. I flew there and I flew back, but it necessarily isn't something I would like to do again at the moment, at least. No.
Okay. You know, my parents, they had an emergency landing during their honeymoon. Before I was born, in Kavala, North Greece. And yeah, the wheels were not opening. It's not the best story to tell you specifically, of course.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and my mom was always afraid of planes after that, and she said, "What if a plane falls?" I said, "Mom, it's like you get the lottery twice. You already fell with the plane. It's not going to happen twice. Come on, it already happened. So you should feel safe because it has already happened. You survived it, and." Yeah, they landed on a field of smoke. How do you call the plant that you get smoke? Tobacco field. And half the side of the one side of the plane was completely destroyed. And my father, may they both rest in peace, they're not alive anymore. He was telling the story and he was saying that, I was okay, we started walking away. And when I turned around and I saw the damage, I shut my pants. I was like, oh shit. That's when I realized.
I can imagine that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, forget the story completely.
I will try to get it off the mind, yeah.
Yeah, man. And one of the last questions I have for you is, what is your greatest achievement in life as a human being? What are you most proud of? That you as an achievement, as something that you did?
When it comes to art, of course, it's Protector. I am so happy and grateful that I had the possibility to do this twice, back in the 80s and now again. That is probably the thing I would say is the greatest achievement I have made. Then, if you can call it an achievement, but my two sons, I don't know how big of achievement that is.
I was kind of expecting that answer. Yeah.
I mean, we will see in the future how they turn out, and so at the moment they're great guys. So hopefully I can teach them something about life and that they become great adults as well.
How old are they?
14.
14. Twins? All right, man.
Yes.
My best wishes.
Thank you.
You remind me, I heard the story that Lemmy gave the exact same answer to an interview. Somebody asked him this question, and his son was sitting next to him. And the interviewer, he said, "What's your greatest achievement?" And he turns around and says, "This guy." Yeah, so. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah. I think I read that interview as well. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, and last question. Any band you would love to see today, dead or alive? Any artist?
I think I already answered that with the time machine thing. That would be Bon Scott, AC/DC with Bon Scott. But also, of course, Metallica with...
Cliff.
Oh God! Now it stands still. So Cliff. Yes, that would also have been. I mean, there are so many that I never got the chance to see. So, but probably Bon Scott, Cliff Burton.
Cliff
Burton. That would be awesome.
Metallica with Dave.
Wow. I didn't even think so far, but that would also have been a really, really. I mean, I've seen some videos, some old videos with them playing, but that would have been nice to be there to see that actually. It seems like a killer show with them.
Yeah. All right. Okay, man. That's all my questions. Hold on. I think I read one more from the audience. Who gave him the idea for the crazy gauntlet, Slayer or Sarcophago?
Oh, let's see. I think because it was Michael Hasse. He made this spike wristband. And because he was playing the drums, he only used it for like promo shoots and stuff like that. And because he was playing the drums and couldn't use it live, he gave it to me, fortunately.
All right.
And the idea, I don't know exactly where the idea came from, but the most, the thing that was most, what do you say, prominent where the pictures in the papers, like on posters and stuff, was of course Kerry King. So I could imagine that it was Kerry King that inspired him to do that spike band. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And one last idea that comes to my head for a question is favorite drummer.
Oh. Michael Hasse. He was really an amazing drummer. Let's say, if I can say a personal answer, and if it comes to other which I haven't played together with, there are also so many awesome drummers. But I would say Clive Burr from Iron Maiden.
Okay.
He was a great drummer. Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Martin, these are all my questions. Thank you so much for coming to my show. It's been a real pleasure to talk with you. Wish you all the best for the show on May 2nd, was it?
Yes.
May 2nd, yes, in Wolfsburg. I know it's going to be a great celebration. Yeah. So all the best to you and the guys. You can close this interview with any message to your fans.
Well, thank you for to the old fans. Thank you for all the Treue. What do you say in English for that? For
Die
holding.
I also don't know
Treue, for keeping us this the faith in the band, listening to our records, buying our records, going to our shows, and supporting us. But also, of course, newer fans that we also see at the gigs. Thank you for giving us a chance and listening to us, and staying metal and keeping metal and thrash metal and extreme metal alive.
Okay. And Guillotine Death, who asked the question for the Crazy Gauntlet, he says, hope to see you guys one day. Cheers from Los Angeles. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. Hi.
All right, man.
Hi over the big pond.
Thank you so much. Martin, stay online. For our Greek audience, we're going to see you guys on next Wednesday, as usual, on our every week Greek show. And everybody else, thank you so much for watching this interview, and see you next time.